I remember when this event came out. Now, like I've told you all, where I'm originally from, a small town, and it wasn't even considered a town at the time. It was called the Village of City. Anyway, at the time, mercifully, Hastings was just now starting to experiment with selling comic books over in their magazine section. And so when I saw that, because the comic shops had come and gone through the years, I grabbed whatever I could when it came out. And once I found this Legends of the Dead Earth, I grabbed as many as I could. I kicked myself now because a couple of years ago I sold them because I was needing space, which at the time I'm like, yeah. Thankfully, though, I did keep this particular one. This is Robin Annual number 5. And from what I understand, all the Legends of the Dead Earth were annuals. And they don't interconnect like annuals do, like there'll be major crossovers. Essentially what it is, and let me jump into this and I'll kind of give you the synopsis on what the Dead Earth was. Legends of the Dead Earth. Earth is dead. Those who once might have called it home are long scattered to the endless stars. But in that scattering on 1,000 different worlds by 1,000 different ways, Earth's greatest legends still live on. And so this one's called The Iron Sky. The man, the myth, the legend, Chuck Dixon writing the story, Staz Johnson doing the pencils, Rob Lay doing the inks, Roberta Tools doing the colors, Tim Harkins letters, and Jordan B. Gorfinkel, associate editor, and the man, the myth, the legend, Denny O'Neil, editor. This was 1996. And so we kind of see all these people walking down this sort of dystopian looking ground. Look, Gimmer, it's him. It's really him. For soul's sake, Trish, you're causing a display. Ignore him or the proctors will notice. And so they're thinking, what's going on here? And we're delighted to this beautiful splash page of this. They're called Joker robots going after what appears to be the Dark Knight. How can I ignore him, Gimmer? He's a legend of Gotham. He's the Batman for soul's sake. He's a menace and a nonconformist, and he's dead when those Jokers catch up with him. They've never caught him before. Look at him zooming through the Z-zone like he owns it. And you just get this look of awe on her face. And the one thing about... Now, wait a minute. I just had a stupid moment. Is it Pris or Triss? I always forget. Triss. She reminds me, like, when you look at her features in the way she's just enamored with the Batman, she reminds me of Carrie Kelly from The Dark Knight Rises. And I'm wondering if that's where Chuck Dixon kind of got the inspiration for her. And what I love about this particular opening book is Batman doesn't talk whatsoever. We have no idea who this dude is. What am I saying? He does own the zone. You're unauthorized to access this altitude. Stand for retina scanner. Be disabled. Obey or be disabled. Obey or be. Damn it, I can't see him now. Triss, now you've cashed it. The proctors are coming over here, and all I wanted was a quiet downshift on my quad. Quat. Yeah, I'm going to start calling a quad a quat. Just roll with it. Still, no Batman talking, just Triss kind of talking about everything that she's enamored with Batman about. And we see him take out these Joker bots. Just. But because Triss didn't keep her eyes on the dirt, she gets in trouble with the proctors. And they're finding ways that they can reassign their job permits. So we can see that this Gotham is very much an authoritarian 1984 George Orwell type, future. Read and record, Minky. See what I can do about getting you reassigned. See what you look like with some of that dirt scrubbed off. All I did was look up. Is that a crime? And again, I love when comics can add political or socioeconomical subtext into a book and not make it feel like it's... Let me put it this way. People always say, oh, comics have always been political. Yes. And do they sometimes swing one way or the other? Yes. But when we go back to writers like Claremont, Stan Lee, Chuck Dixon, Fabian Nicieza, they would make it to where it served the story. But there's always a way to find it to serve the story. It's kind of where my thought was going with all this. And we can see the people who just want to live their life, while there's others who look further beyond. We're not in trouble, Triss. You're in trouble. What do you mean, Gimmer? They didn't have time to scan me. Your retinals are recorded now in the Proctor hold. You're the outlaw. Come with me anyway, Gims. We'll find the Batman. I've heard enough about your Batman. He's a lie. He's a joke, but you saw him. I don't know what I saw. The Proctor of Gotham, the Dark Knight. You remember the stories the oldies told us. As long as there's a Gotham, there will always be a Batman to watch over it. That's what the oldies said. Batman's just a story, just like Earth is just a story. A place where souls shunned is all the people. And she says, but the oldies say, we're almost oldies, Triss. We're almost at childing age. Huh? I wanted to child with you, Triss. I wanted to face the giving time with my hand in yours. Come with me, we can explain. The Proctors might just short ration you for a time. Go away, Gimmer. And so she's ready for something more. She knows that there's more to life. She ends up getting in trouble. And I love how, because at the time they couldn't, in a DC comic, give the finger, she just goes, scan this, Proctor. So I love comics where they were able to get around it, just like how Peter David was able to use, like, shocking in Spider-Man 2099. She does the hang 5 as the middle finger. But anyway, she ends up in the hands of the Batman. And I wish that this could have been, instead of a annual, which you can, what do you call it? You can expound upon, because an annual is usually longer, because it's usually a summer book. But damn, I wish they could have really stretched this book out into like a collected trade or something like that and made it a longer book, because they have to kind of rush through the information. So you come to find out that at the age of, what is it, like 15 maybe, they're called the childing, but the women are killed, the babies are harvested. And she goes, oh, what does Batman say? They gestate in Proctor labs. After they're born, they're brought to the nursery and raised to be plowers and soil managers and harvesters and put to work in the fields when they're 9 cycles of age. And work they do until their 13th cycle. Then it's time of giving for them. And that's the way of life in Gotham. Does it have to be, Triss? And so you learn who this Batman really is and what opened his eyes. And she goes, I'm the oldest person you've ever seen. That's the least of the wonders I have to show you. Follow me. And so this is the first time she's seen space. She thought that what they were on was it. And so she knows that there is a life beyond what she knows. But where are we? All of this is around us. Where's Gotham? Better to ask, what is Gotham? They called them generation ships. So basically this was a ship that was sent from Earth many years ago, got off course, and then the authoritarian mindset set in. But maybe there's another star, another home. The Proctors would never consider it. They're blind to our situation, as ignorant as you or I were before we saw the stars. Then we'll do it. The two of us. There was another in the legends that he joined the Batman in his crusades. Does it have to be a he? I suppose not. Robin. And so this is where we get this version of Batman and Robin, and you can see how she's finally free and to fight the Proctors. You can see she's a little green, but her drive is what makes her such a force to be reckoned with. Now there's a central navigation system where no one is taking care of it. Batman finds its, location. He says we need to go in there in order to change course and find a home so that we can get away from all this. Now something happens with the Batman. And so this Robin says we need someplace we can breathe with water, not too cold, gravity be nice. Scanning aerospace, working. And then they find a place. And she goes, well, how long is it going to take to get there? And they gives her a certain amount of years, and she goes, I won't be alive then. Well, take us there. So this Robin's storyline ends in tragedy. I don't want to give away what she does, but essentially she says, the proctors, whatnot, say your offering is for a better future for us all. And so what happens to her, she goes, better than you'll ever know. Jammers. And so Robin followed Batman. And because of their sacrifice, and because of our fathers' fathers didn't have the sun and the soil and the wind and the rain, so when men and women reached their 13th summer, they had to give themselves to the soil. Why, Grandpa? So the plants could grow and give them air and food for the long journey here. They got chopped up for furt? Kids. Did Robin get chopped up for furt, Grandpa? And basically he says, she led us home. It's a heartbreaking issue. But I love that in one annual, Chuck Dixon gave us a brand new Robin, a brand new Batman, a brand new Gotham, while showing that the characters that came before is what inspired these legends and why they are so timeless and why they still show that when people want to take up the mantle for peace and justice, the righteousness way. That's all I gotta say. Great writing. Love this book since I was a kid. I think I read this the first time when I was in 6th grade, somewhere around there, and I'm now an old fart, and it still hits me the same way as it did when I first read it when I was a kid, but I understand more of what Chuck Dixon was saying now than I did then. So I've learned to appreciate it more as time has grown, or whatever I'm trying to say. You all know what I'm saying. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is you'd like to get your action figures and comics. Grab this series. And if you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little girl wonder bell, next subscribe. That way as I continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with y'all, hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or the socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.